presentation on B9 before we do anything else on this grant. Yeah, oh, yeah. She's doing a good job. Good. Yeah, we need to
We're gonna take a 6.
Or Bob. Okay, you ready? Good evening. It is 5:30, so we're going to call the regular council meeting to order. And our first order of business tonight, we're going to do a Board of Health hearing. I'd like to remind everybody to turn their cell phones off, please, or turn them to vibrate. And then let's stand and do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Amanda, would you take the roll, please?
Councilmember Myers.
Here.
Councilmember Rowe. Councilmember Stevens.
Here.
Councilmember Strebe.
Here.
Councilmember Dalby.
Here.
Mayor Lazio.
Here. I would make the comment that Mark Rowe is out of state and told us in advance he would not be here. Go ahead.
Approve the minutes for meeting number 1 on April 18, 2017 is presented. Recommendation, approve the minutes as presented.
Move the recommendation as presented.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions? Take the roll.
Councilmember Myers.
Yes.
Councilmember Stevens.
Yes.
Councilmember Strebe.
Yes.
Councilmember Dalby.
Yes.
This is the time, place, and date set to consider condemnation of the structures on the lot located at 813 Lee Avenue. I received no objections on this item.
Good evening, Jody. Jody is our director and has the floor.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. 813 Lee belongs to Jack and Lois Loving. It's been placarded since September 14th, 2016, and there are pictures of this property being projected. It was placarded due to unsanitary conditions and dilapidation, and a recent inspection revealed little to no work was being done on the property, and staff recommends that the City Council condemn and order the demolition of the house and other structures on the lot.
This is a public hearing, so if there's anyone in the audience that wants to speak to this item, now is your chance. Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So move.
Second.
Thank you.
Councilmember Myers.
Yes.
Councilmember Stevens.
Yes.
Councilmember Strebe.
Yes.
Councilmember Dalby.
Yes.
Condemn the structures located at 813 Lee Avenue, order prompt demolition, removal, and leveling of the lot, and direct all costs attendant to such actions, including administrative costs, to be assessed against property taxes. Recommendation, approve the condemnation of the structures located at 813 Lee Avenue.
Is there a motion?
Yeah, sorry. Move the recommendation as presented. Second.
Thank you. Any questions for Jody? Hearing none, take the roll.
Councilmember Myers.
Yes.
Councilmember Stevens.
Yes.
Councilmember Strebe.
Yes.
Councilmember Dalby.
Yes.
Thank you.
This is the time, place, and date set to consider condemnation of the structures on the lot located at 817 Lee Avenue. I've received no objections on this item.
Go ahead, Jody.
This is 817 Lee that you're looking at. It belongs to Sarah and Bradford Henry. It's been placarded since July 14th, 2016, due to conditions with wiring so bad that Alliant Energy wouldn't turn the electricity on. And also the house was infested with bugs. A recent inspection revealed no work had been done on this property towards any of the repair nor the demolition. So staff is recommending condemnation and removal.
This is also a public hearing. If there's anyone in the audience that wants to address this. Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Councilmember Myers.
Yes.
Councilmember Stevens.
Yes.
Councilmember Strebe.
Yes.
Councilmember Dalby.
Yes.
Condemn the structures located at 817 Lee Avenue, order prompt demolition, removal, and leveling of the lot, and direct all costs attendant to such actions, including administrative costs, to be assessed against property taxes. Recommendation, approve the condemnation of the structures located at 817 Lee Avenue.
Is there a motion?
Move the recommendation as presented.
Second.
Any questions for Jody? Hearing none, take the roll.
Councilmember Myers?
Yes.
Councilmember Stevens?
Yes.
Councilmember Strebe?
Yes.
Councilmember Dalby?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jody. I'd entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Councilmember Myers?
Yes.
Councilmember Stevens?
Yes.
Councilmember Strebe?
Yes.
Councilmember Dalby?
Yes.
Okay, now we'll move into the city council regular meeting. Take a roll again.
Councilmember Stevens?
Here.
Councilmember Strebe?
Here.
Councilmember Dalby?
Here.
Councilmember Myers?
Here.
Councilmember Rowe? Mayor Lazio?
Here.
Items on the consent agenda. Minutes from special meeting number 17 on May 30th, regular meeting number 18 on June 6th, and special meeting number 19 on June 13th, 2017 is presented. Acknowledge May financial statement and payment of bills as submitted by the Finance Department. Reappointment of Joyce Kramer to the Library Board of Trustees, term to expire July 5th, 2023. Purchase of a 2017 John Deere 544K2 wheel loader from Murphy Tractor and Equipment of Des Moines, Iowa, for a price of $163,001. Renewal of Conduent, formerly ACS Government Systems, software maintenance agreement for the period of July 1, 2017 to June 30, 2018, in the amount of $11,707.11. Award the contract for tree trimming and tree and stump removal services to Bub's Tree Care for the best bid price of $50 per hour for any and all services rendered. Resolution number 139, 2017, setting the date for a public hearing on the intent to dispose of city-owned property located at 345 North McLean. Resolution number 141, 2017, setting the date for a public hearing on the intent to dispose of city-owned property located at 306 Atoma Street. Resolution number 147, 2017, approving the contract, bond, and certificate of insurance for the Downtown Master Facade Improvements Program Phase 2. Cigarette tobacco applications for Walgreens, number 1301, 327 West 4th Street. Hy-Vee Food Store, number 1, 1025 North Quincy. Hy-Vee Gas, number 1, 1027 North Quincy. Hy-Vee Food Store, number 2, 2453 North Court. Hy-Vee C-Store, number 2, 2457 North Court. Hy-Vee Drug Store, 1140 North Jefferson. Matt Avenue Quick Shop, 405 South Madison. Walmart, number 1285, 1940 Venture Drive. Murphy USA, 1939 Venture Drive. Stop and Go Drive-Thru, 516 South Madison. Yes Way Store, number 10012, 2508 North Court. Yes Way Store, number 10013, 534 Church Street. Yes Way Store, number 10014, 502 West 2nd. Yes Way Store, number 10030, 1317 East Mary. And Smokes and Strokes, 129 East 2nd. Beer and or liquor applications for Atoma Grocery, 129 and 131 East 2nd Street. Main Street Donuts, 606 West Main. Happy Joe's Pizza, 315 Church Street. Mike's Pizza and Steakhouse, 1111 Quincy Avenue, number 111. Yes Way Store, number 10012, 2508 North Court. Yes Way Store, number 10013, 534 Church Street. Yes Way Store, number 10014, 502 West 2nd. Yes Way Store, number 10030, 1317 East Mary. Morgan's Corner Bar and Grill, 436 West 2nd, temporary outdoor service area from July 1 and July 15th and August 12th, 2017.
Is there a motion for the consent agenda?
Move the consent agenda as presented. Second.
Before we take the roll on that, I would like to ask Jody Gates to step to the podium and talk to us about item number 9.
Yes, before you vote on this, I'd like to have Mark Fisher, who is the architect for the Downtown Facade Program, and Brad Grief step up to the podium and give you an update on the progress that they've made in their discussions with property owners on getting the price tag of this project down closer to the budgeted amount.
Okay. Good evening, gentlemen. You have the floor.
Hello, my name is Mark Fisher. I'm representing Klingner and Associates, the architects on the project.
And I'm Brad Grief with Area 15 Regional Planning Commission. I'm the grant administrator on the project.
So as you know, the project came in over budget. There's a number of contributing causes. We've seen that costs have increased over the last year, 15 to 20% on projects similar to this. There's also additional costs in masonry work that are associated with new OSHA standards, which take effect July 1st. That's some of the masons are reporting that's doubled their labor costs. So though there's some of the background of the reason the project came in over budget, we've been talking with CCI, Christner Contracting. They've shown a lot of good faith in working with us to bring the costs down, find opportunities for savings. We've also had meetings with the property owners to do value engineering, and we're still in that process. But at this point, we just met with 3 property owners today. We're looking at a budget number, a cost savings of a little over $300,000 that we've taken out of that bid amount, which was 1.44. So we're getting to where we want to be. We're not quite there yet. Currently, the project budget is down around 1.1 million. So we've still got some work to do. As soon as we get that done and we get final numbers in, then we'll be able to process a change order and reduce the contract sum of the overall project.
Okay, very good. Brad, are you going to,
I think you pretty much got everything.
any questions from any council member? Thank you for that update. We appreciate that. And I know last meeting, Jody made a strong statement about we would get down to that original estimate of what we have available. So thank you for working on it.
You're welcome.
All right. Item 11, we have gentleman Roger Hornbeck, who would like to speak to liquor licenses. So please come up to the microphone.
Yes, my name's Roger Hornback. I'm from 511 Marouge Avenue. I'd like you to consider not issuing a beer license or liquor license for the Yes Way stores because they're not obeying the law for the state of Iowa when it comes to can redemption law. So, and here in the application requirements, it clearly states that if the person has a history of showing disregard for the law, don't approve it. Well, I called the police down to the Yes Way store when I took cans in because it's against the law to not accept cans that you have sold. You take a 5-cent deposit. When you return the can, you're expected to get one back. It's the law. They can't refuse it. But they did. When the police came, they said, you have to do this. But there's no recourse if they don't because the county attorney won't enforce the law. So instead of getting my cans taken in, I was told if I ever return to the place, I'll get trespassing charges. So I think you should consider not giving these people a liquor license because they don't care what the law is.
Okay, thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
Roger. Any comments, any questions for anybody? Okay, we do have a motion and a second for the consent agenda. Take the roll, please.
Councilmember Stevens?
Yes.
Councilmember Strebe?
Yes.
Councilmember Dalby?
Yes.
Councilmember Myers?
Yes. Item C, I need approval for tonight's agenda. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Second. Thank you.
Councilmember Stevens?
Yes.
Councilmember Strebe?
Yes.
Councilmember Dalby?
Yes.
Councilmember Myers?
Yes. Item D is report from city officers, boards, commissions, and committees. So I'm going to ask Administrator Andy Morris to make some comments.
Very good. Thank you, Mayor and Council. 2 items. One, the item you see listed, the Eyes and Ears contract, as you know, we've been utilizing their services, I believe, since probably the April-May timeframe. This is a contract for audio and visual services and equipment operations. I'm going to bring that to the July 11th meeting. I just wanted to give Council a heads up that this will be a contract coming to you very, very soon. And I appreciate Joni Keith putting together the language in that contract. I'll have advanced copies of council to review before I ask you to take legislative action again on the 11th. I will just say from a staff perspective, we're very pleased with their services and want to continue that working relationship. The other item I have listed here, this is just what I penciled in, the OEDC contract. That contract is up for annual renewal. The requisite monies are in the budget. That is another contract I will be bringing to the July 11th meeting. And again, we'll provide some advanced copies of that. If Mayor, you or council members have any questions or comments on those, I'll be happy to take them. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy. At this time, I would like to ask Fred Zessinger to step to the microphone and make a couple of comments about an award that was announced yesterday. And we'll also bring that back to the council at the July 11th meeting.
Thank you, Mayor. We actually it became public knowledge the other day. A press release was sent out that Main Street Ottumwa, along with IEDA, received the National Endowment for the Arts grant for $50,000. And that is for a workshop that will be held here this fall with the Main Street Iowa organization. So all 53 communities will be coming to Ottumwa in October for that event. But it actually kicks off July 24th with Jason Roberts. And if you're not familiar with who Jason Roberts is, you might do a little background on him, but he does works for a company called the Better Block Foundation. And there are a couple TED Talks out there on him. If you Google Jason Roberts, build a better block, you will get some information on him. But he will be coming to Ottumwa July 24th with some of our other partners. And we will be having a public meeting that night down at Market on Main, which is a Monday night, but he'll probably want to meet with some representatives from the city that day as well. So just to put that on your schedules, and thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Fred. That's quite a nice accomplishment, and appreciate the nice news release that was sent out to everybody.
Thank you.
Item E, we have an opportunity for anyone in the audience to address an item on the agenda, and we have Rhonda Conrad, who has requested to speak to F2. Rhonda, please step to the microphone. We're going to have we have a motion and a recommendation from our staff, so maybe we should hold off and let you can just stay there. It won't take long, but we can do it on F2. We've got F1 that needs to be taken care of first. So, Jody, do you want to, let's go back to F1 and do that.
Bid report and contract award to Environmental Edge for asbestos removal and demolition of 416 Waverly, 536 North Hancock, and 2102 East Main Street. Recommendation, accept the bid and award the contract to Environmental Edge for the total sum of $39,350.
Is there a recommendation, or is there a motion?
Move the recommendation as presented. Second.
Jody, go ahead.
We sent this project out for bid and received two of them, one from Dan Larson and one from Environmental Edge. And Environmental Edge was the best bidder. We recommend awarding them the contract.
Are there any questions for Jody on this item? Hearing none, take the roll.
Councilmember Stevens?
Yes.
Councilmember Strebe?
Yes.
Councilmember Dalby?
Yes.
Councilmember Myers?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jody.
Endorse the Fly-In as a city-sponsored event, August 26th and 27th, 2017, at the Ottumwa Regional Airport. Recommendation, approve the Fly-In as a city-sponsored event.
Is there a motion?
Move the recommendation as presented.
Second.
At this point, now it would be appropriate to have Rhonda come back up and make some comments.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm Rhonda Conrad, and I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for giving me this time. I'm a volunteer with the group that is organizing the Fly Iowa event, and this is the Legacy in Flight Fly Iowa. It's an event that is being hosted or planned each year by the Iowa Aviation Promotion Group. And this year, Ottumwa was selected, and this is the 25th anniversary for the event. So you've probably seen something about it in the papers or heard people talking about it, but we're very excited to have it be a part of the Ottumwa community events. This event is going to be held it's held in a different Iowa city each year, with Ottumwa being selected this year. It will be at the Ottumwa Regional Airport. And it's a really nice tie-in with aviation history because, as most of you know, our airport grew out of the Ottumwa Naval Air Station, which was located out there many years ago. The group that's been working on this has been planning this for months, and the dates of the main events are Saturday and Sunday, August 26th and 27th. But there are events leading up to that. So we see there's going to be many people coming in to attend the events that are occurring Thursday through Sunday, actually. The first 2 days, Thursday and Friday, will actually be when the American Model Association is coming in. They'll be hosting a jet rally, having open flying, which means pilots will be coming in to try out their stunt works. And so it's time when people can go out there and see those things about any time of the day. Then on Saturday and Sunday are when the main events occur, but still the jet rally is occurring, the open flying in the morning, pancake breakfast, all kinds of activities to bring people out to the Ottumwa Regional Airport area. In the afternoon is when the big event occurs with the air show, and there'll be stunt pilots doing all kinds of crazy things. I'm sure many of you remember when Ottumwa used to have air shows, and it was a really huge draw at that time. So we're looking at bringing people back to the Ottumwa area for that event and it continuing in the future. So we see top pilots such as Skip Stewart, Kyle Franklin, many others who are well known in that field coming with lots of other activities planned. And Mayor Lazio, Pam Coppins, and I, and many others have been working on getting sponsorships for the event. So it doesn't come free to host something like this, but we're raising about $125,000 to host the activities for those time periods. We've raised about, or have been promised about $85,000 to this point. So we have a ways to go. We have several contacts yet to make, so we're making good progress. And the nicest thing about this is the events are free for the general public to come to. So there's no admission charge to come to see the air show. So I think that's another big draw that will bring people here and will have an impact on the economy of Ottumwa and Wapello County area, because they'll be coming to restaurants and hotels in the area and visiting different sites that we have here. The museum will be open out there for people to view. So lots of other things are happening in connection with that activity going on. In addition, the event is planned so that there are hopefully funds to continue it going forward, so it'll be able to fund itself in future years. So we look forward to that happening.
Thank you very much, Rhonda. Are there any questions for her? Bob?
Well, I'd just make a comment. Thank you, Rhonda, to you and your committee for doing this. When you mentioned years ago, and it has been years ago, when I first came to Ottumwa, that was one of the neat things about the airport, and you could actually go out and be around the planes and things like that. But I also think with the success of Angel Air, and then the fact, Mayor, that you used many times, that our regional airport is kind of a diamond in the rough. And it's like what you're doing with this 2-4-day event, we could not afford the advertising that that's going to do for us. So thank you so much for your efforts.
I think, Rhonda, I would just add to your comments, we will have some military aircraft here.
Yes.
And we are hoping that in the future we'll have more success with some name aircraft like Blue Angels or the Thunderbirds, but because of timelines, we were not able to secure them this year, but we have some congressional people helping us with that, so we're very optimistic. And I think the other thing, the Fly Iowa people really support general aviation, and as part of their program, there will be a special day on Saturday, August 5th for juniors, and they will take approximately 40 children out to the airport, put them through a national curriculum on aviation, and then the Indian Hills and Iowa City Air Club are going to be providing free rides for the kids who complete the curriculum. So again, it gets young people thinking about aviation. So a lot of good things, and we just appreciate it. And thanks for the volunteer hours you put in, Rhonda. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. We take the roll unless there are some other questions. Okay.
Councilmember Stevens?
Yes.
Councilmember Strebe?
Yes.
Councilmember Dalby?
Yes.
Councilmember Myers?
Yes.
This is the time, place, and date set for a public hearing on the sale of city-owned property located at 413 North Pocahontas. I've received no objections on this item.
Good evening again, Jody. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I swear this is the last time you're going to hear from me about this particular piece of property, okay? Sealed bids were accepted until April 25th. 3 bids were received, and John and Noma Woodenberg were the best bidders in the amount of $8,353, and we recommend approving this sale.
This is a public hearing. If there's anyone that wants to address this item, seeing none, I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second?
Councilmember Stevens?
Yes.
Councilmember Strebe?
Yes.
Councilmember Dalby?
Yes.
Councilmember Myers?
Yes.
Resolution number 143, 2017, accepting the bid and approving the sale of city-owned property located at 413 North Pocahontas to John and Noma Woodenberg for the sum of $8,353. Recommendation, pass and adopt resolution number 143, 2017.
Is there a motion?
Move the recommendation as presented.
Second?
Any questions for Jody? Seeing none, take the roll.
Councilmember Stevens?
Yes.
Councilmember Strebe?
Yes.
Councilmember Dalby?
Yes.
Councilmember Myers?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jody.
Resolution number 117, 2017, accepting a gift of real estate from Wareco Services Incorporated. Recommendation, pass and adopt resolution number 117, 2017.
Move the recommendation as presented.
Second.
Good evening. Joni has the floor, city attorney who's been working on this.
Thank you, Your Honor. Wareco Service, Inc. is a holder of real estate located at 214 North Madison Avenue. The property is subject to an environmental covenant established under Iowa Code Chapter 455I with the Iowa Department of Natural Resources. The property is adjacent to John Deere Ottumwa Works, which has been maintaining and mowing the property and will continue to do so thereafter. Wareco currently owns this property but is dissolving as a corporation and wishes to donate the property to the city. John Deere Ottumwa Works has requested that the city accept the donation. They will continue to maintain that property adjacent to them. It'll just be green space. Staff is recommending that the city accept this property. I attached to the documentation a copy of the map showing the parcel of real estate to be conveyed. This will be by quitclaim deed, and the city would end up paying the recording fees. It is subject to an environmental covenant with DNR, but we believe it's closed, that the initial remediation on the property is closed. We're kind of concerned that if this property got into the hands of somebody else through a tax sale certificate, that might not be as good a neighbor to John Deere. So John Deere has requested us as a good neighbor to accept this gift. I'll entertain any questions you
Mr.
may
Mayor,
have.
let me just ask one question on this. This came up at staff today. Joni, I know this was part and parcel of the discussion, and that is whether or not we would, as you know, it's largely gravel at this point, whether or not the city would be well off to perhaps create a green space there. And I think with what Larry Seal said at the staff meeting, perhaps put in the curb, and there's already guttering, but put in a curb. I don't know whether or not I'm pretty sure that's not part of the resolution. I don't know if it needs to be. That was part of the discussion today, is whether or not the city would look to make that a green space area.
That is not part of this gift.
That's
That
correct.
might be something we will entertain with John Deere. They have verbally requested that we put a new curb there, maybe remove the gravel and just turn it into a nice space. At this point in time, and maybe some period of time in the future, there will be no construction on this site.
Right. I just wanted to mention that was a topic of discussion. That's not legislative action this evening.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Joni?
Joni, it's not clear to me. What if you think this problem with the contamination of the soil has been taken care of, correct?
It's my understanding it's been taken care of. The DNR wants to close their file, and so we did an environmental covenant last fall that was approved by council. This contamination also includes some property that the city owns as well, and so we were all part of that covenant. There's no guarantee that something might come up in the future. I don't know. At this point, we cannot build on it. If we want to put a sewer infrastructure on that side of the street, we would need to get DNR approval at that time. But at this point, it's going to be green space. So until we disturb it by putting in sewer or something like that, I think we're probably safe that this will be green space for many years to come.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or concerns? Okay, take the roll.
Councilmember Stevens?
Yes.
Councilmember Strebe?
Yes.
Councilmember Dalby?
Yes.
Councilmember Myers?
Yes.
Resolution number 140, 2017, authorizing the transfer of $223,982.21 from the Sewer Capital Projects Funds to the FEMA Capital Projects Fund for the West End Flood Mitigation Project. Recommendation, pass and adopt resolution number 140, 2017.
Move the recommendation as presented.
Second.
Good evening, Bob. You have the floor.
Good evening. Thank you. This transfer of funds completes the financing for the FEMA flood mitigation project and closes out the fund. We received $20,234,111 from FEMA for the project. This amount covers items that were not reimbursed for the various projects that were in the total flood mitigation project. The $223,982.21 equals 1% of the total project revenues that we received. This basically closes out the fund and zeroes everything out.
Okay. Are there any questions for Bob?
I just would like, well, and not necessarily to you directly, Bob, but to you as far as the finance part of it, handling the finances, but to Larry Seals, Public Works, Engineering, again, to think of a flooding situation that then that group got, they started planning, they started figuring, they worked with FEMA, and 20 million just for that part of it is no small matter. So again, thank you to that group for the foresight and the hard work. I think we've already seen in the last 3 years with the High River, how quick acting, quick thinking, and getting the funding has really made a difference for the community.
Correct. If you want to see eyebrows raised at a meeting,
Pardon me?
if you want to see eyebrows raised at a meeting, you can flip this number out
Yes.
for a grant and everybody's going, wow.
Yes.
So yeah, kudos to Larry and his crew.
Yeah. Thank you.
I would add to that, I was in the office the day that the DNR lady, and I think her name was Carol, as I recall, but very positive comments about Chad Carlson and Larry Seals on this project. And that is an extremely big grant, but an awful big file too. And again, kudos to our staff for a job well done.
Appreciate the compliments, Bob, and the rest of the staff and the support we received over this project. You knew it ended up taking over 8 years, but there was a lot of staff that was in and behind the scenes to work on this. As you mentioned, Carol Toombs was excellent project manager for FEMA. A lot of my staff put in a lot of good hours, a lot of hard work to get this done. So it was a real big team that completed this. We appreciate that, though.
Okay, let's take the roll.
Councilmember Stevens?
Yes.
Councilmember Strebe?
Yes.
Councilmember Dalby?
Yes.
Councilmember Myers?
Yes.
Thank you.
Resolution number 144, 2017, approving change order number 2 for Contract C parking lot renovations for the Beach Renovations Phase 1 project. Recommendation, pass and adopt resolution number 144, 2017.
Is there a motion?
Move the recommendation as presented.
Second.
Second.
Thank you. Good evening, Gene. You have the floor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. The city council approved the contract in the amount of $46,315 to G Asphalt Systems of Cedar Rapids, Iowa through resolution number 197-2016 on August 16th, 2016 for the Contract C parking lot renovations for the Beach Renovations Phase 1 project. Change order number 1 was approved by city council through resolution number 2004-2016 on November 15th, 2016. Change order number 2 is changing the contract to add 437 linear feet of mill and fill at $11.90, increasing the contract by $5,200.30. And contract summary is as follows. Base contract C parking lot renovations, $46,315. Change order number one, $4,658. Change order number two, $5,200.30. So the revised contract amount is $56,173.30. The revised total project amount for phase one, $728,000, $609,000.30.
Okay. Any questions for Gene?
Yeah, I have one, Mayor. For Gene or for Bob. The number 728 there at the bottom is over the $700,000 threshold that we have allotted for these projects. So can you explain how that additional money is going to be allotted?
Well, keep in mind, we're going to be using $2.8 million in this whole project. So the 700,000, it was just broken out over a 4-year period. And the funding for that is based off of the requirements for the state code. We're going to be utilizing $28,000 out of the CIP for the next fall. So Dwight's made adjustments. There's going to be making adjustments on letting of the contract and what needs to be done. And then that way, that's how it will always go through till we get this thing completed. So
Thanks, Bob.
Any other questions or comments?
I have one question, Gene. Will there be crack sealing done on the cracks in that parking lot?
That's a question for Dwight. I cannot answer that myself.
Will be done. It wasn't the fall, I assume. No, thank you.
Okay. Thank you for that question. Okay. Anything else? Take the roll.
Councilmember Stevens?
Yes.
Councilmember Strebe?
Yes.
Councilmember Dalby?
Yes.
Councilmember Myers?
Yes.
Resolution number 145, 2017, approving change order number 2 and accepting the work as final and complete for contract B, slide repairs for the beach renovations phase 1 project. Recommendation, pass and adopt resolution number 145, 2017.
Is there a motion?
Move the recommendation as presented.
Second. Thank you. Go ahead, Gene.
The city council approved the contract in the amount of $115,473,000 to Slide Care LLC of Avon Lake, Ohio through resolution number 203-2016 on August 16th, 2016 for contract B, slide repairs for the beach renovations phase 1 project. The city council approved change order number 1 through resolution number 279-2016 on November 15th, 2016, consisting of adding $5,225 for additional repairs. Change order number 2 is decreasing the contract amount by $539 for damage, repairs, and left rental. Contract summary is as follows. Revised contract amount, $120,159. Revised project amount, $728,609.30.
Any questions for Gene? Hearing none, take the roll.
Councilmember Stevens?
Yes.
Councilmember Strebe?
Yes.
Councilmember Dalby?
Yes.
Councilmember Myers?
Yes.
Resolution number 146, 2017, approving the agreement between the City of Ottumwa and Calhoun Burns and Associates for professional engineering services to conduct the 2017 and 2018 biennial bridge inspections and load rating. Recommendation, pass and adopt resolution number 146, 2017.
Is there a motion?
Move the recommendation as presented.
Second.
Thank you. Good evening, Larry. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. This is part of our biannual bridge inspection program. The scope of the work includes the routine inspection of 19 bridges within the city of Ottumwa, updates to the load rating calculations if necessary, and updates to scour evaluation if necessary. All work will be in accordance with the Iowa Department of Transportation and Federal Highway Administration guidelines and recommendations. Time to complete the inspection should not exceed 6 months. Compensation is as follows. They're listed in lump sum items. For the 4 main bridges, there'll be $16,250. For the 12 smaller span bridges, that's one's like over Jefferson Street drainage ditch, $47.50. And then the 3 pedestrian bridges is $500 each.
Are there any questions for Larry? Hearing none, take the roll.
Councilmember Stevens?
Yes.
Councilmember Strebe?
Yes.
Councilmember Dalby?
Yes.
Councilmember Myers?
Yes.
Ordinance number 3120, 2017, amending Chapter 11, Cemeteries of the Municipal Code of the City of Ottumwa, Iowa by repealing Section 11.6 and enacting a substitute in lieu thereof. Recommendation A, pass the first consideration of ordinance number 3120, 2017.
Is there a motion?
The recommendation is presented.
Second.
Thank you. Good evening, Gene. Go ahead.
The purpose of this ordinance amendment is to be in compliance with regulations of the Iowa Insurance Division regarding a perpetual maintenance trust for internment spaces in Ottumwa Calvary and Ottumwa Jewish cemeteries. The city of Ottumwa will be the trustee and operate the perpetual trust fund pursuant to Chapter 5231 of the Code of Iowa, which is the Iowa Cemetery Act. Funds would be restricted and used solely for the purpose of providing maintenance. 20% of the gross selling price of lots in these cemeteries, or $50, whichever is greater, would be placed in this fund with the principal kept intact. The city would abide by the commission's applicable administrative regulations. The Ottumwa Cemetery Board has reviewed and approved these changes and recommends council adoption.
Any questions for Gene? Hearing none, take the roll.
Councilmember Stevens?
Yes.
Councilmember Strebe?
Yes.
Councilmember Dalby?
Yes.
Councilmember Myers?
Yes.
Recommendation B, waive the second and third considerations, pass and adopt ordinance number 3120, 2017.
Is there a motion?
Move the recommendation as presented.
Second.
Thank you. That's pretty obvious. Any questions? Take the roll.
Councilmember Stevens?
Yes.
Councilmember Strebe?
Yes.
Councilmember Dalby?
Yes.
Councilmember Myers?
Yes. Are there any communications from the council or for the council?
Yeah, excuse me.
Councilman Myers.
Well, if anybody else had one, I can wait. Go ahead. I've forgotten Roger's last name. Hornbeck? So Roger, I just want to thank you because I know you've contacted each of us individually, and I really appreciate the manner in which you have talked with us. I know you're very passionate about your issues, and I really appreciate the way that you have talked with us. I hope you're not too disappointed in that first vote, 4-0, because I know as we've talked, we're going to take this further to state, you've made that a law. Now, how do you intend to help us enforce or something? But thank you for the manner that you presented yourself.
Yeah, I agree, Bob, and spoke with Mr. Hornback today. It is an issue. There are a lot of citizens that are probably upset about the fact that they can't redeem their cans and bottles at certain places at certain times. I've witnessed it out in the public at different establishments. So, you know, you buy 3 cases of soda and, you know, it's $1.20 for each one. And that adds up, and then that $3.60 adds to your total bill, so you're paying, you know, 7 cents a dollar on top of that to add to your bill, and then there are places where you can't take it back, and opportunities. So it is a problem. We need to figure that out. I think that we need to look at ways that we can, if the redemption centers are closed or if they're not operational, come up with some way that we can sort of meet everybody in the middle here so there's more opportunities for our citizens to take their cans back and get their money back that they paid for them.
Thank you, Councilman Strebe. 2 other comments, unless there are some other council. Okay. I know Councilman Stevens was at the Waterworks meeting this afternoon, and perhaps it'd be appropriate to share when the North Court CDBG grant starts. It starts at Alta Vista and goes all the way out to Hy-Vee. Skip, do you want to make a comment about that?
Well, just the question that I ask is, when do you have a tentative date for this to start? And it's just right after the 4th of July is when they plan on starting. And they commented there would be sections where they're going to try to stay out of the street itself, but there's going to be sections that's going to be out into the street. So it's going to be inconvenient for a while, but they would like for us to bear with them. They get this much needed project done.
Thank you. So again, just a heads up for our citizens that starting after July, it'll be. The other thing I just bring to the council's attention, and I gave a copy of this to City Administrator Morris recently had the opportunity to go to a League of Cities meeting, and Bob has been telling us all along that the commercial and multifamily tax rollback is going to have an impact. We had an afternoon session with ISAC, the Iowa State Association of Counties, and their projections are worse than Bob's. It's pretty alarming, and I think we need to really monitor this and pay attention. The governor this past year did kill a bill to discontinue the backfill program, but our lobbyists for the Iowa League of Cities and ISAC both said the same thing, that it stands a really good chance of being eliminated next session. And that really is going to have some drastic effects on both city property and county property. And they prepared a chart, which I think was really revealing that since the implementation of House or Senate File 295, there's been a decrease of 8.4% in property value, and at the same time, there's been no new income or new growth, and we're not sure what's going to happen if that continues. Taxpayers, like the rest of us, residential, will end up paying for that shortfall, because there's no way to make up that kind of a loss without some drastic cuts in city and county services. So we just need to be talking to our legislators, and hopefully our new governor will support us on this, but we need to keep this on their radar as we go into the fall and beginning of next legislative session. Yes, Councilman Myers.
Well, if you're finished, I'm sorry.
I'm finished.
Yeah, one other thought. Mayor Lazio and Public Works Director Larry Seals and I were able to go out to the Alliant Energy plant at Chillicothe last Friday. And again, kind of putting things in perspective. When I first started teaching a few years ago, and you could take classes out and tour the plant, and I think it was started sometime in the 80s, but that smokestack at the time, with the coil system and the water that drops from it, they were able to purify at least ash going up that stack, 99.9% pure. In 2013, Alliant and Mid-America, I guess it's a joint venture, but they spent $380 some million on upgrading the turbines, changing some of the other, and Mayor, you'll have to give the actual gases and everything else that have been improved. But so that project was completed, and so the groundbreaking last Friday was for another $150 million to go into that facility that, when completed, will be the cleanest coal burning plant, I think, in the United States.
That's right.
But again, we get, and we all hurt with rate increases and everything else that goes on. But again, sometimes I think we forget that just since 2013, that's over $500 million being spent to upgrade and to produce clean electricity for us.
Yeah. Very good. And I was very pleased that our fire department was present for
Yeah,
that.
sorry.
Our
Yes.
emergency management coordinator was there.
Yeah.
It really gave, I think, the city a good recognition that we are supporting this investment, and that will mean 150 skilled laborers here for the next 2 years, living in Ottumwa, spending money and buying products and services. So again, a good economic impact for the community. Is there any? Yes, Councilman Strebe.
Lastly, since this is the last council meeting before the usage of fireworks is permitted for the first time in, the last 80 years, I urge all citizens to please be responsible, be considerate of others. Please comply with the times that they're to be let off between 4 and 10, except for the 4th of July. Be considerate of our law enforcement and our fire department. Be aware of your neighbors and children, and try to conduct yourselves as responsibly as possible, so that when we look down the road and make future decisions about these, we wouldn't want this first test model to be something that had a lot of problems with it. So everybody, please be safe.
Very well. Anything else for the good of the cause? Okay, then I would entertain, Roger, I think we've already touched on it, but do you want to make any comment about the Redemption Center? Step up the mic and we'll have you read that, and I'll give you 3 minutes to make any comments.
My name's Roger Hornback, 511 Rouge Avenue. This is a letter moratorium from the state of Iowa to the Redemption Center dealers, county attorneys on April 18, 2006 in regards to reimbursing only 4 cents and is illegal and container limits. The Department of Natural Resources has received many telephone calls, emails, and letters from consumers, redemption centers, operators, dealers, and the media ask whether redemption centers can reimburse customers less than the full refund amount on the redeemed beverage container. Redemption centers and dealers stores are required to provide the full refund amount to consumers. Any dealer or redemption center not paying the full fund amount is in violation of the law and is subject to criminal penalty as described in Code of Iowa, Chapter 455C-12, and withdraw of any department issue approval order in ordinance with Iowa Code Chapter 455C.6. The department has also received complaints about and questions regarding the legality of redemption centers and dealers to limit the number of containers and consumer can redeem. All dealers, stores are required by Code of Iowa, Chapter 455C.2 and 455C.3 to accept from consumer any empty beverage container of the kind, size, and brand sold by the dealer unless the dealer has been exempted by the Department of Natural Resources. All dealers, including convenience stores, are required to accept at least 120 cans per person per 24-hour period. Any dealer limiting customers to less than 120 containers and is in violation of Iowa Code Administrative Code Chapter 107.8 is in violation of Code of Iowa and is subject to criminal penalty. A list of department-approved redemption centers and therefore currently exempt dealers is online, www.iowadnr.com. Waste, recycling, file, approved county. Redemption centers are required to accept at least 500 containers per person per 24-hour period. Any redemption center limiting consumers to less than 500 containers is in violation of the Iowa law and is subject to criminal penalty and withdraw of any department-issued approved orders. The department has previously indicated that a redemption center might be able to charge a fee in regards to containers accepted in excess of 500 container limit. Upon further consideration of this issue, and in light of additional information that has been received, it is the position of the department that charging any type of a fee to customer or paying consumer anything less than the full refund amount, regardless of the number of containers redeemed, is illegal. Thank you.
Thank you, Roger. Chief Miller?
We had a situation yesterday with the State Fire Marshal's office. They sent out a media thing to all the people in Wapello County. We are not under a burn ban. We've had a few phone calls today wanting to know why we're trying to prohibit people from shooting off fireworks. We are not under a burn ban. So we're trying to get the word out. In February, we had a burn ban. It was 80 degrees out. In March, that got lifted. This is the one. This is the media thing they sent. It was the one from February. So why this got sent out, I have no idea. I talked to the State Fire Marshal's office today, and they had nothing that made a lot of sense. So I'm trying to get the word out. We do not have a burn ban on right now in Wapello County.
Thank you for that clarification, because I've had several questions about that today. Okay, anything else for the good of the council? Hearing none, I entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second?
Councilmember Stevens?
Yes.
Councilmember Strebe?
Yes.
Councilmember Dalby?
Yes.
Councilmember Myers?
Yes.
Thank you and good evening. 6:24.